We are heading to the Chicago suburbs to meet artist and avid collector Jill Meyerhoff. She lives, works, and collects in a very cool loft space studio apartment. I think she is the most interesting person you will meet today. Enjoy the tour.
So I was a sculptor for many years, and I did some oil painting, and I'm sort of in the collage phase. I use a lot of ephemera, which is essentially paper that I find at estate sales, incorporated into my artwork. This one is of the Edens Theater, so anybody from the North Shore who grew up here would know this incredibly mid-century modern building that looked like a spaceship. That's where we saw all the movies. I saw Star Wars there, and all these are listings in all these fun movies that we saw back in the 60s and 70s. This piece over here is made out of a Time Life books on photography that I found in the garbage, and they were, most of them were moldy, water damaged, so I tore the pages out and then used them in this collage to recreate a vintage camera.
Wow, how long did it take you to make that?
Very long time.
Those are little tiny cuts, aren't they?
Little tiny cuts. I find everything either in garbage or in estate sales, basements, attics. I rifle through boxes nobody cares about, and that's where I find my coolest stuff. These books would be picked up on spring cleaning day, which around here there's about a month where you can put anything at the foot of your driveway, a pile the size of a small car, and they will take it away for free. And that's a happy time for me because I go driving around my car, poking through stuff to find treasure.
Jill, tell me about these pieces here.
So these pieces were part of a show I did for Highland Park at the Art Center last year, and incorporating a lot of Highland Park memorabilia and a lot of my artwork that was about Highland Park growing up. And these, I found stacks of old Highland Park news. So I loved the advertisements, and I loved especially the electronics advertisements. And then I found these vintage slide game. It was called Kenner, something by Kenner, and I cut them out and lit them up. There's the Flintstones, there's all sorts of fun stuff. I sold all of the ones from the show. These are mine, but I have stacks of advertisements waiting to be made into these still. My grandfathers and my dad saved, this might have been a 60s, 70s thing, saved all the license plate and put them in the garage. That was a thing that dads did. So I love the colors, and I love the Illinois land of Lincoln.
So this is where you keep the things that you have listed in your eBay store?
Yeah, both of these closets here contain 3,000 items. I'm on just the verge of being a hoarder, but it's all very organized, actually. I have everything organized by category. Here's kids. Here's, pre-1920s, restaurant menus, vintage menus, photographs, posters. It's all here. What's in front of us is about 1% of my collection. So you can imagine I have stuff stored everywhere. But I pulled out some of my favorite stuff. This is actually how I started collecting. It's miniatures. And I used to buy stuff like these little things these little packets, they're sort of novelty things. I built my own miniatures for my dioramas and my dollhouse, and all sorts of quirky stuff. One day I go out for a walk, and I stopped in my tracks and I said, wait, I need to go to my childhood street, which is in the Highlands in Highland Park. I need to go there for some reason. It's the last day of junk collecting, garbage collection, and I need to be on Summit Avenue. So I turned back around, I got in my car, and I went to Summit Avenue, and there was this giant pile at the top of the hill full of scrapbooks, photo albums strewn everywhere, photographs just thrown about. It's almost like someone had already been there. And so I took 7 of them along with loose photographs. I take everything home, I research it. It turns out that it's from the early 1900s, and this scrapbook photo album belonged or was created by a man. His name was Ewald Jumbo Steim, and he was a legendary college football coach who held the record for most consecutive wins, and still to this day, I think it's the most consecutive wins by a college football team, Nebraska. He started out in Ripon College, Wisconsin. This is a complete documentation of his time there. These are beautifully put together photo albums with handwritten notations. I just find them to be amazing. And this was sitting in the rain. It was starting to sprinkle a little bit, and I just started throwing photo albums and scrapbooks in my car. A treasure that literally will be gone in, a half an hour if I don't grab it. And I do feel emotionally attached to objects that are going to be lost, if I don't put them in my car. This is a cool one. This I didn't rescue from the garbage, but I bought it in the estate sale. It is a truly amazing scrapbook photo album from a World War II, someone who was in the Navy in World War II. It's a beauty. What amazes me about these pieces is that how beautifully they are compiled. And also all the girls he dated, apparently.
And there were many.
There were many. There's a whole bunch of them from Hawaii where they were apparently stationed. I love these because photographs, in my opinion, are the only way that you can freeze time. These are literally moments in time, frozen forever. And fun moments. These are groups of people, young people, hanging out in Lincoln Park, Chicago, partying, having a good time. This is a cool one. This is a family that owned and still owns a famous place called Vince's Spaghetti, and this is in California. There are actually more than one now. But this is the family celebrating. This is the family inside the first restaurant, 1940s. When I find stuff like this, I do a lot of digging. Photography is becoming my most favorite part of collecting. Mm-hmm. There's stories there, and the family doesn't want these pictures anymore, which makes me sad, but I certainly do. I feel like these exist in that moment. This photograph made it for 100 years. And it needs to be looked at in the same way. If I'm, going to appreciate it and love it, I'll pass it on or sell it to someone who's going to love it. This is one of my favorite things. I have about 100 of these from Randy's bar mitzvah, 1969. They couldn't throw them out probably for sentimental reasons, and now I have them. Anyone who wants a Randy's bar mitzvah comb, please contact me. I have sold a ton of soaps from hotels. I sold an entire box full of them that I grabbed. And then I kept some of them that I thought were super cool. Mardi Gras, the Indian Village Motor Lodge, Highway 6. There's some crazy stuff. I love menus. They also, restaurants these days are not as creative with their menus, and you can't take them home. People could just take home a menu. Like here's a menu from a Highwood restaurant called Willie's. And they're like, sure, take home the menu. These were menus from Yosemite National Park, which are actually beautiful. I think they're Ansel Adams photographs. And you would just, this is what you would get after you had lunch there.
Dated, so they knowing that this was a souvenir, they printed it every
day. They print out new menus for every day. I don't know why I love this so much. It's small, it's compact. It's Nino's Steakhouse. Just tiny little thing. It's somehow so cool. On the Holiday Inn, they always had very cool menus. I love people and what they save. I think it's.
Thank you so much, Jill, for showing us your collections. Visit Jill's store on eBay and visit her website. Thanks for watching.